I appreciate the opportunity to talk. I'm glad that you guys are interested in what took place, and I'm going to give you a kind of a quick overview of what happened that night, and then we'll take any questions. And so on that particular evening, Wednesday evening, a week ago, I was with the rest of the LMPD units who have been put in place in anticipation of protests and civil disobedience in the downtown Louisville area. There was a group of several hundred who had gathered at Jefferson Square Park, and then about 8 o'clock in the evening, started setting fires in the area of Jefferson Square. And so there was 4 or 5 fires that were actually set in the park. There was a fire that was set at the courthouse. As LMPD units and KSP units moved into the area, that group went south on 6th Street, set more fires in the area of 6th and Muhammad Ali, and then eventually got into the old Louisville area. As we were able to put the fires out, there was a call over the radio that some gunfire had occurred around College Street near Brook First in that area. And so the SRT group and myself deployed from 6th and Ali to Brook and Broadway. Actually, the truck I was on pulled up underneath the I-65 overpass on Broadway. The officers got off, got out, and we ran up to Brook and Broadway and started getting online. I moved into the front of the group. I turned my back to the crowd. There was maybe 200-300 right around College, Jacob, I think, the alleyway that runs behind the Taco Bell that goes all the way over to Brook Street and then further east. I was getting instructions to the group on how to get online, preparing to move. I'd given instructions to Lieutenant Boat, and I said, hey, we need to move forward. There's some large fences around behind that Walgreens that has barbed wire around it. And there's large fences, chain link to our east. And we'd had some problems early on back in the end of May where people had actually got hurt climbing over those fences. And so we were trying to move up to make sure that we prevented any of that happening. And as the instructions to move were given, gunfire started. I heard the gunfire, immediately turned around to look for where the gunfire was coming from. I couldn't find it. I tried to identify who was shooting at us and couldn't. It sounded like a whole magazine of maybe 15 rounds were fired at us. And then the gunfire stopped. And so I never cleared my holster. I never drew my gun. I put my hood back, took my hand off my gun, and then realized that my hip was on fire and that I'd been shot. I looked down and saw the injury. I tried to walk back to cover back towards some of the concrete pillars underneath I-65 and took a little hiccup. I couldn't quite step all the way down, had a little jump. One of my SRT officers, Officer Brandon, fantastic cop, came over to me and she said, I think you've been shot. And I said, yes, I've been hit. She immediately started providing care for me. The other officers putting themselves and their life on the line came over and picked me up and got me out of there quickly to the ER, where the ER doctors were fantastic, taking immediate care for me. I actually have 3 holes in my body because the bullet fragmented off while it was in me. So I've got 1 entry wound and 2 exit wounds. And the doctors were phenomenal. The nurses were amazing, caring for me. And when I got to the hospital, that's when I found out that Officer Desroches had been injured as well. The care that they provided for him was out of this world. We have one of the best trauma centers here in Louisville, and they did a great job and continue to do so in caring for Officer Desroches. So that's basically the broad brush of what's going on. Monday, I was able to get returned to light duty. So I'm going to be behind the desk for a while. But hopefully everything goes the way it should and I don't get any infections or anything. I'll make a full recovery. So with that, I'll take any questions you guys might have.
Okay, just a reminder to put your questions in the chat.
Okay, great.
All right, how are you moving and feeling today? What's the recovery process been like?
Sure. So the first couple of days were very tough. My whole entire hip was very, very painful. Lots of hard, tight, sharp pains. It's weird when you have a through and through wound like I do. They don't stitch it up. They just let it ooze and bleed and heal from the inside out. And so I still have, even to this day, one of the large exit wounds still hasn't closed all the way. And so I still have some bleeding, some what they call weeping, body fluids and stuff coming out of it. But that whole entire pain is now gone. And so the pain now is not my whole entire hip. So the pain now is just where the wound itself is, the entry and exit wounds. And I still get some sharp pain. The muscles, the glute and the quads, they'll tighten up out of nowhere, and I'll get these muscle spasms that I just kind of got to let run their course. But my mobility is really good. I was very, very lucky in that it's all muscle and tissue damage. So it didn't strike any major organs. It didn't strike or break any bones. And so I can get around pretty well. I just got to take it easy. Doc says it's going to be at least a couple more weeks before I can get back to full duty and do street police work. But I've been blessed in that it wasn't any more significant than that, and I can still continue to help.
Okay, the next question from Heather Fontaine. Since March, you've worked closely with organizations to push for peaceful demonstrations. How disheartening has it been for you and other officers to be met by gunfire towards the end of a long day of marching and protesting?
Very disheartening. I've been, the whole department, and that's not just me, but there's lots of people who have been constantly trying to work with organizers to keep our protests peaceful. We have struggled, no matter the group, no matter where they're from or what their ideology is, to try and make sure that when they come to Louisville and they exercise their First Amendment rights, that it's done in a peaceful manner, a lawful and peaceful manner. And to be shot by a single person, I don't hold the group responsible for what another person did, but I hold that person responsible. And for that to happen after all the work we've gone through and all the opportunities and chances we've put in place to make sure that all First Amendment rights are protected, but it's done in a peaceful and lawful way, to have that to be shattered like that, it's disheartening. It's frustrating. But we are a professional organization, and there's a reason why I still wear this uniform here today. Just like every other police officer here in Louisville, we come to serve, and we'll continue to do that, even through our frustrations.
All right. The next question from Eileen Street at Spectrum, I believe, is how have you been since then? And the follow-up is, will you receive any mental health services after this traumatic event? If so, what? So I think this is more of a mental health question than a physical health.
Absolutely. And so, I've already started receiving mental health help. We, in the police department, we have a group called Peer Support. These are officers and mental health professionals who are here for police officers who have been involved in any kind of critical incident. And so they were there almost while I was in the ER. Peer Support showed up and started to help me, letting me know that what I was going through was normal and what kind of experiences and expectations I might have through the process. They've not only come along beside me to help me, but they've also come along beside the other officers who experienced that and were in the middle of that. We've gone through several different briefings through Peer Support to help us in coping and giving us those triggers and those things to look for that might mean we're going through problems. And then making sure that we understand what mental health tools are available to us to help us deal with and cope with what's normal frustrations and angers and fears and anxiety that's associated with this stuff. And so I've already been through several briefs. I've had peers who've been involved in critical incidents in the past come alongside me and make sure that I'm okay. I've got that talk about our families are available to receive that as well. And so that's one of the strong points of the Louisville Metro Police Department. They are always there for us and make sure that we are aware that we have those resources available to us.
Next question also from Eileen is, how is Officer Desroches doing?
He has had a much harder time than I have. His wounds were more severe. He took an abdominal strike that did a lot more damage, and he is going to have a much longer recovery road than I have. I had the opportunity. I got to speak to him yesterday. He seems to be in good spirits. He's finally up and moving around, and he how can I put this? He understands too that he was very lucky, and that it could have been much worse. And he's grateful that it wasn't. And he expressed a lot of love and appreciation to the officers, as I have, that were around us when we were injured, who put themselves even at greater risk to protect us and get us evacuated into the hospital. But he's in a lot of pain, and it's going to be that way for a while. But hopefully, again, without any further complications, hopefully he'll be able to recover and get back to us.
All right. A couple questions on this line in terms of officers on the ground, and this question from Lexi Ratterman about as more officers continue to cover the grounds around protests, do you have any fear for them since you've experienced this? And there's a couple other questions related to this same topic about your concerns for officers on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. You know, police work, the one thing about police work that has never changed, it hasn't changed from day one when I started with the old Louisville Police Department up until today, and I suspect it'll never change, is that there's always a risk involved in what we do. Always has been and always will be. It just seems like recently that risk of violence, at least that threat of violence, that the willingness to profess openly in public the desire to harm, kill, hurt the police and their families has really ratcheted up. And it's no longer quietly spoken amongst people. It's out in the public for consumption. And so the fear and the anxiety that hopefully police officers listen to and pay attention to so that they're safe, or as safe as they can be as they go about doing their job, is now readily available for everyone to see because of this social media and constant coverage of these threats to the police and to the police officers' families. And so, yeah, I have a fear. I have a fear for myself. I have a fear for my officers who go out and try to serve and protect the people in this community that we love. I don't know that that's changed anymore, but it's definitely more prevalent. I don't know that the fear is any higher, but it's clearly more a consistent thing. And I worry about my guys and gals who are out here serving this community.
Okay. Ryan Van Belzer from WFPL asks a couple questions about the suspect and the situation regarding the incident. We're not going to answer questions about the specific case that is pending in court, and I believe there's a hearing later this week. So it would not be appropriate for us to talk about the circumstances or the suspect himself. So we'll move on to Lauren Adams' question. She says, glad you are okay. As the leader of police protest efforts and with more information related to the grand jury being expected to be released today, what is your message for both officers and protesters? And this goes along with the question from Felicia Ashley asking similarly. There have been moments of intensity between police and officers and protesters, but there have also been moments of great conversation and growth towards closing the divide. You have been key in that. What message do you have for both protesters and police to keep moving forward for growth and nonviolence? Those are both pretty similar.
Yeah, I go back to Dr. Martin Luther King. Hate solves nothing. Only love, only love beats hate. And we, all of us, no matter the color of our skin, no matter our race, religion, or creed, no matter where we live, where we came from, all of us are in this together, all of us. And if we can't come together to find solutions, then we're not going anywhere. And hate and violence progresses in nothing. It's only when we can come together in mutual respect and love that we can communicate in an effective way and we can make real change. And so that would be my message, whether it's to the police officers out there or our public, our citizens, our business owners, our guests. Violence is not the answer. It never has been and it never will be. It's only by working together that we can make a difference.
Okay, another question from Eileen. This is a tense time for everyone. Sorry, my screen just moved. So now I lost my place. This is a tense time for everyone. How are you and LMPD officers as a whole doing? What have you heard from talking with coworkers, given long hours, no vacation, and also going out and obviously not knowing what can happen?
What have I heard from officers? Good and bad. The long hours hurt. Anybody, I don't care who you are, you get tired, you get worn out. Being separated from your family and around the people you love is hard. It's difficult. It's a struggle. Being verbally accosted, physically accosted, watching the city you serve being destroyed and attacked, it's painful. It's frustrating. It wears on anyone. And we're the police. We're human beings. We're fathers. We're sons. We're daughters, mothers. We're just like everyone else in this community. And so it has been a struggle. And for me to try to sit up here and say anything different would be it'd be disingenuous and it's untrue. But through the struggles, we overcome. Through the struggles, we hopefully will find a way forward together. And so I see now, I heard it last night at roll call and talking to the officers. There's this desire now, what's next? How do we find a way forward? How do we continue to move on? How do we make the change that needs to be made and hold on to those things that need to be held on to? How do we move forward? And so I'm beginning to see more and more of that from the officers, the desire to try and find a way to make our city better and more inclusive.
From Heather Fontaine, police have been met with frustration and even attacks since protests started in Louisville. How important has it been for you as a major and commander to be on the front lines with your officers?
It's extremely important. It's the reason I'm there. You can, as an upper level executive command staff level, you can lead from a desk. You can be sitting in a room, well withdrawn. But in times like these, I hate to use the word unprecedented, but it truly is unprecedented here in Louisville. The level of violence and destruction that we've seen, and place upon that the lack of distrust and anger within the community directed towards the police. As a leader, you have to be there. You have to show people that you value them, and in public service, you have to show the public that you care and value them, and then you also have to show your officers and other leadership that you value them. And the best way to do that is to be side by side with them, whether it's in the communities and the community groups trying to make a difference, or whether it's in the streets with the officers trying to make a difference. All of us are stakeholders. All of us have an interest, a meaning, a saying in what is going on in our community. And so if you want to show people that you care about who and what they are, you've got to be there with them. And so we've had great leadership throughout the department who've been with our troops, who've been with the officers, who've been with the troopers, who've been with the National Guard, who've been with everyone from the Sheriff's Department to EMS on our streets here in Louisville trying to make a difference. And I'm just a part of that.
Okay, we have time for this one last question, and it is from Lauren Adams. Major Gregory, beyond being an officer, you have two other very important jobs, being a father and a husband. Can you share what it was like to see your family knowing you were going to be okay?
So, yeah, give me a second, I'm sorry. The most important job I have in this world is being a father. 1A is being a husband. My children were devastated when they found out that I had been shot. Of course, being young children, they assume the worst. And I'll never forget what it was like stepping through my front door and hugging my kids and crying with them and trying to support them and be there for them. They don't understand. They don't understand the hatred. They don't understand the vitriol. They know who and what I am. And what they hear over the last couple of months, and then seeing someone trying to, in their minds, kill me, and when all I'm trying to do is serve the community, it is very difficult for them to deal with. I was blessed and continue to be blessed to try and help them through that and be there for them. But the truth is, my wife is my rock. She is the basis by which my family is built upon. She is an amazing woman that I do not deserve. I am a very, very lucky man. And this morning was a little difficult for her. She won't admit it because that's just the kind of strong person she is. But seeing me put my uniform back on and head back into work today for the first time since this happened, I got a lot more hugs on the way out the door this morning than I normally do. There'll come a time where the anger and the frustration at the person who shot me subsides, and we'll have to deal with the fear and anxiety of me being shot. But for now, she is and always will be and always has been my partner in life, and I'm a very lucky man. And so thank you for that question. Well,
I think that's a good place to leave it. we all at LMPD are very grateful Major Aubrey Gregory is with us and able to do this interview today. So we will close out this press conference and say thank you to you all.
Thank you.